Welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated to a season of the challenge that will share a bag of chips with you and then vote you into elimination. That's right, we're talking about the challenge season 25 Free Agents episode 4. Now let's start off where last episode left off, and that was all the men escaping elimination because Frank was medically DQ'd for having pneumonia, and then nobody flipped over the kill card except for one person, and that is Cara Maria, who faced off against Nany in the Looper elimination, where she won, got a lot of credit, and then everybody decided once they were back at the challenge house that they were gonna celebrate with a pool party, hanging out. People were getting close, really close, like Jordan and Laurel, where Aneesa was getting a headache because she's sleeping in the same room as them, and they were getting close with each other all night long. Now Aneesa is frustrated, and I loved what she said in her confessional about Laurel and Jordan, where Laurel is like the female version of Jordan and Jordan is like the male version of Laurel, so it's like they're just dating each other, which I thought was spot on. Now this tension between Laurel and Jordan and Aneesa would snowball throughout the rest of this episode, but now let's go on to the daily challenge for this episode called Bounce Out. Now the whole group is going to be separated into two teams. Now each team is going to have a group A and a group B. What they're gonna do is don these like big bubble ball suits, and you're gonna have to try to score your ball into your opponent's goal. The team that does the best 3 out of 5 wins, gets to be safe, and nominate a man and a woman into the elimination, and then the rest of the losing team will be taking part in the draw. It's only fitting that in this episode, the two team captains are Cara Maria and Bonanza, as they are going head to head throughout this whole season, and now they're going head to head yet again. Now they picked the teams, and before we get into what actually happened in all the rounds, I have to say that I actually enjoyed watching this daily challenge. It's silly, it's goofy, but there is some strategy to it, and it was fun to watch people collide with each other. Also, this is a daily challenge that can be used nowadays, especially with all the quarantine and social distancing. This one aged the best, but now let's get into what actually happened in the daily challenges. So in round 1, Zach is the ball for the yellow team, and Bonanza is the ball for the red team. And the whole point or the strategy of the yellow team was just having Zach be the ball. He's the biggest out there. He can smash into people and basically score by himself. However, that strategy on paper may work. It doesn't work in execution, as the whole team was pretty much rallying around Zach, both the red and the yellow. They were trying to push Zach. Zach was getting pushed by the red team while everyone was in the middle dealing with Zach. Bonanza was on the outside running around the whole team. He knocks into Aneesa, knocks into Cara. There's really no defense on the yellow team by this point, and Bonanza saunters in to score the first point for his team. Now, can I just say that the yellow team strategy is pure poopy, but they decide with the different team and the different group B being in there, they're gonna try the same strategy, except this time Isaac is the ball for the yellow team and Jordan is the ball for the red team. And they decided to do the same exact strategy as in round 1. Maybe with Isaac as the ball, it'll be something different. False, it was not different. Isaac was flopping hard in this daily challenge. He was trying to run in front of the group. Nany was kept on knocking him down, and Jordan did the same thing that Bonanza did. Ran around the outside. However, this time, the yellow team had much more defense padding around their goal, as Jordan was mere feet for the longest time right near the goal. He was about to score, but there were so many yellow balls around there that he couldn't push through. That's when Johnny Riley decided to send Preston, their muscle for this episode, to go out and help Jordan push himself into the goal for the yellow team, and Preston does it. He is fantastic in this daily challenge. He comes in clutch. He was the last one picked, but he was the first one to push Jordan into this goal and score for the red team. Now they're up 2-0. Will it be a clean sweep? We're gonna have to wait and see, as round 3, now they're trying to change up the whole strategy. Now the balls are gonna be going out by themselves, and the rest of the team will just play defense. So Bonanza runs out in front for the red team, and Zach runs out for the yellow team, and everyone else is just pushing everyone out of the way. This time, Zach is able to scoot, go around, puts some hits on people, and easily scores for the yellow team. This was a much better strategy with Zach in there. However, now they have to put Isaac back in as the ball, and Isaac was just flopping so hard in this challenge. He was getting knocked down, he was getting bullied. He just did not show the drive that he wanted to actually play in this daily challenge. He just seemed like he was sick of it, and he did not want anything to do with it. He was on the ground more than he was on his feet, and pretty much what happened in the round 2 happened in round 4, where Isaac was just on the ground. Jordan and Preston ran straight for the goal, and Preston pushed Jordan in, sealing this victory for the red team. That means the red team is all safe. They get to nominate one man and one woman from the yellow team to go straight into the elimination, and then the rest of the yellow team that wasn't voted on will have to take place in the draw. Now back at the challenge house, we have Preston and some of the red team cheesing on Leroy for his performance in the daily challenge, and now Preston put a good hit on him in one of the rounds. I thought this was really fun. It was really fun to see everybody just kind of like teasing Leroy a little bit. He's so big, he's so muscular, and then to have Preston come in and just push him down for one of them was really, really funny. We move on to a different portion of the red team. We have Johnny, Riley, Jessica, Laurel, and Jordan all talking about who they want to vote in to the elimination this episode. And Laurel wants to put Aneesa in so bad. She wants to make a power move and vote Aneesa in. Well, Jessica wants to make some moves and wants to keep herself safe as the game progresses. So the next day, she goes up and tells Aneesa, hey, Laurel is really pushing to throw you in. I don't want to throw you in, but that's what she's doing. Aneesa is getting pissed, but this is where Jessica finally decides, hey, if I don't say your name, you don't say my name, if you win it, and I'm on the block next time. And Aneesa says, sure, that's fine. They shake hands, and Aneesa runs over to Jordan and is like, why would Laurel want to target me? And all this other stuff. Well, Jordan is pretty pissed that loose lips have sunk their ship, and then it all comes to a head in the team deliberation. Now, in the team deliberation, nobody at all is on the same page, and everything gets sidelined, especially when Jordan calls out Jessica for saying something about Laurel's plan for voting in Aneesa into this elimination, and he is talking down to her, he's demeaning her, he's demeaning whatever she's ever done in this challenge or in the challenge as a whole in her whole challenge career. She walks off. What are they gonna do? Nobody knows. We get down to the actual voting ceremony, and right before TJ comes walking in, Laurel is still whispering to people to try to get them to vote in Aneesa. And this is all over the place. I absolutely love it. I love it when people aren't all like on the same page, because that means that people have their own thoughts, their own agendas, and they're just gonna do whatever they want to do. When one group just completely destroys the house and just goes in one motion, kind of like how this Big Brother season is going, or War of the Worlds 2 type of political strategy is going, it gets boring after a while. So these wild votes are awesome, and it was awesome because the first vote comes down to voting in on which woman they would like to send into the elimination, and it comes down to a 4-4-3 tie where Aneesa got 4 votes, Latoya got 4 votes, and Jasmine got 3 votes. And in between that all, Aneesa calls out Laurel and asks for a legitimate reason why Laurel is targeting Aneesa, and Aneesa isn't having it. It's all excuses. Laurel really doesn't need to give Aneesa a reason why she's targeting her, but I love that Aneesa was coming at Laurel because Laurel, she's been winning a lot, and I like that somebody was standing up to her. They have to do a revote, and the only 2 people that the team can vote for is either Latoya or Aneesa. It comes down to a 5-5 tie again, and the deciding vote comes down to CT, who decides to vote in Latoya into her second elimination of the season. So Latoya is up there, and Latoya is upset that she's going into the elimination. She's also very upset with Jordan because he didn't give her a heads up that, hey, you could possibly be going into the elimination this episode. And they were hanging out, they were joking around, they were sharing a bag of chips before the voting ceremony, and then he didn't give her a heads up. I totally get where she's coming from, but did Jordan need to give her a total heads up? Not really, especially with all the votes everywhere. He may not know exactly where the votes were gonna go, but I totally see where Latoya is coming from, and Jordan is rubbing everyone the wrong way. Whether it's Aneesa, whether it's Jessica, whether it's Latoya, and apparently behind the scenes, some stuff that we haven't even seen, Jordan was just all over here making people mad. And then we get to the guys' vote, and the guys' vote is, again, wild and crazy. Votes are being thrown everywhere, but it doesn't come down to a tie. There's enough votes to send in Brandon into this week's elimination. So we have LaToya and Brandon definitely going into this elimination, and then the rest of the yellow team going into the draw. Now, after the vote, Jordan was in the thick of it. Aneesa was upset with him and Laurel. LaToya and Jessica were upset with him, and Laurel is just defending him. And she's pretty much his only friend in the house besides Johnny Riley at this point, and he's not getting a ton of screen time. So right now, Laurel is the only person defending Jordan. But now let's move on to this week's elimination, where the yellow team is up there ready to flip over some cards to see if they flip over the kill card. Aneesa's the first one up. She flips over her card, and it is blank. Isaac is now up, and everybody wants Isaac to go into this week's elimination and get demolished, get eliminated from this game. Nobody wants to be partnered up with him after that horrific and disgusting flopping that he did in the daily challenge earlier. They want him gone. They want him in the elimination and gone. However, Isaac goes up there, flips over a card, and it is blank. Camilla goes up there, flips over her card, it is blank. Zach, like I mentioned earlier, is pissed that Isaac isn't in this week's elimination. He goes up there, he flips over a card, and it is the kill card, which that is terrible news for Brandon, as Zach is so much taller, so much wider, has a bigger wingspan, has a bigger leg gait. I don't know what it's called. He just has a bigger walk than him. I know there's a word for it, but he has a bigger walk. If I'm Brandon, I'm sitting there going like, why did it have to be Zach? But Zach is going to face off against Brandon in this week's elimination. Jasmine goes up there, flips over her card, and it is blank. Now it's Cara's turn, and Cara flips over her card, and it is the kill card. Cara is pissed. This is her second elimination in 2 episodes. She just took care of Nany in 80 minutes worth of having her harnessed to her and pushing, and I'm sure she's still like kind of bruised and all of that. I mean, that didn't look comfortable at all. She's probably still hurting from it, and not to mention what happened in the daily challenge. So now she has to face off against LaToya in this week's elimination, which is a headbanger called the Oppenheimer. Now the Oppenheimer is kind of like a hall brawl, except instead of a straight hallway, it is a circular hallway where you're going to have to run, hit your opponent, get past your opponent, and ring your bell first. The person to do this twice wins and gets to stay in the game, while the other person is vamoose and is heading out and will not have a chance to win the grand prize money. Now the women are up first. Cara and LaToya are up. Cara is getting ready, getting pumped up. She's already seen elimination, and now she's having to see it again. This could be a good and feisty one. Now TJ blows that horn, and the girls are off. They're running. They're about to collide, but right before they're about to collide, LaToya's foot slips in the sand and she falls over, where Cara just has to bunny hop over her, staying in stride, and easily takes round 1. LaToya's gonna have to pick it up. Now, I love the Oppenheimer just because that it's very similar to the Hall Brawl, but it has that distinction to it, and I like the changes that they made for it. Now we move on to round 2, and round 2, TJ blows that horn. They're running at each other, and they kind of just like slide off of each other. They don't really do a big hit with one another. It kind of just seems like they just lightly bounce off of each other. They're still running in stride, and Cara is just faster than LaToya in hitting her bell. Cara wins 2-0, wins her second elimination of the season, gets to stay in this game, and she is pumped. And now it is time for Brandon and Zach. Now Brandon has to come with something different. It's gonna be tough going head to head against someone like Zach in this type of headbanger called Oppenheimer. So in round 1, TJ blows that horn. They're running at each other. Now, when they're about to collide, Brandon sees that Zach is bracing for impact, lowers his shoulder, and Brandon, who's played football too, decides he's gonna lower his shoulder. That was the wrong move there, Brandon. As they collide, Zach hits Brandon with a lot of force, getting him off his feet, getting him off balance, and then Zach just does the rest by pushing Brandon down to the ground, pushing him down, and then easily sauntering over to hit his bell to take round 1. Now Brandon knows he's gonna have to have a different type of strategy. TJ is about to blow that home for a second one. He blows it. They're running at each other. Now they're about to collide, and they kind of like just dab each other a little bit. But when he does that, Brandon's knee hits the ground, stopping all of his momentum, and Zach can stay in stride, and he is just a little bit quicker. He has a longer gait than, say, Brandon, so he's able to just get to his bell quicker and rings it in there. Brandon loses 2-0. The thing about this one, it's a little lackluster when it comes down to it. I thought that Cara and Latoya would have been a little bit more feisty, a little bit more saucy in their exchanges and their hits. It just did not work out that way. And I really wanted to see Brandon pull out one round against Zach. It just was a huge uphill battle for Brandon going up against someone like Zach in this head-to-head physical headbanger. So I commend Brandon for sticking to his guns, trying to take Zach on head-to-head. It just did not work out. So with that, Latoya and Brandon are eliminated from this game, and Cara and Zach stay in this game, and that is it for this episode. Now, I turn over to you. What do you think about this episode? Let me know that in the comment section below. What do you think about the daily challenge? What do you think about the bubbles? What do you think about the elimination? What do you think about all of them voting all different which ways? This is going to get nuts in the coming episodes, and I cannot wait to see it. But what do you think about the elimination and the Oppenheimer in general? Let me know that in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really, really soon with more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.